Some freak just drove by in his hot rod. Boy, was he hauling ass and making a lot of noise. I wish I had one. We walk back up towards my house and keep on going to sneak into the field about a block past it. The field is mostly grass with some trees a few blocks farther down, and it runs for several blocks behind my house, all the way down to this other road about a half-mile away. We keep a sharp lookout for anyone watching us, and then after walking about a block into the field, we come to the cave and weasel our way into it. The cave is far enough away so my nosy father can't find it, yet close enough that we can walk to it easily and stumble our way back after we're loaded, far out. We call it the cave, but it's not really a cave, just a hole in the ground. My little brother Carl, who's 12 years old and 5 years younger than me, dug with his friends and then covered up with a piece of old plywood they found somewhere, and then covered with dirt so the whole thing is camouflaged and can't be seen by anyone who happens to be driving or walking by, like the cops or my parents, for example. My brother Carl and his friends made the cave to play fort in or something. You know how little kids like to play, but my buddies and I turn it into a dope den at night when they're not around. It's an excellent place to hide and get stoned. There is only one part of the hole that is not covered, just a little hole that we can skinny down to get to the bottom. The whole cave is only about 3 or 4 feet deep and about 10 feet wide, and all three of us can barely fit sitting Indian style. It's pretty dark in here, so we light one of our lighters to see by and break out the candle we brought to lighten the place up with. After it's lit, we start to settle in, and sitting here, we get a very cozy feeling because the place is so small. We lean back against the dirt walls and get comfortable sitting on the dirt floor. I can smell the dirt of the cave, kind of a musty, earthy smell. It smells good, and the cool night air is coming in through the cave opening, bringing with it an aroma of grass and pollen. Excellent. Above us, just barely clearing our heads, is the plywood ceiling. The grain of the wood is neat to look at as we're sitting here. I got a rock poking me in the ass, so I got to move it out of the way. My left cheek. I can smell the candle burning. I kind of like the smell of burning candle, the candle wax and the carbon smell of the wick burning. A car just drove by outside. I can hear it, but just barely. Somewhere in the distance I can hear a dog barking. We put the candle in the middle between us on the dirt floor, and as the flame flickers, there are shadows moving all over the place, on the walls and plywood, and on Gus's and Tim's faces. Gus and Tim have an eager look of anticipation on their faces as they contemplate getting stoned. They can hardly wait. Very soon we're cocooned in and continuing with our habit we've had lately for about the last month or so of smoking some excellent hash, man. That's hashish to the uninformed straights. We start to smoke the hash and immediately we're stoned. It doesn't take a lot of token to get high when you're smoking black opiated hash with white mold growing through it. Some ass-kicking shit, I must say. With the first hit from that little homemade brass hash pipe, we have to cough so frickin' bad, but you can't let it out, man, as you paid $60 an ounce for this shit, so you don't want to waste any of it. The guy at school we bought it from said it was good shit, and he was right. After the first hit, your head expands like a balloon. It feels great, like you put your hands next to both sides of your head with your fingers spread out and just move your hands out about 2 feet in a kind of a whooshing motion. That's what your head feels like. Excellent. As we're sitting there, we start to laugh for no reason at all, because there's nothing funny. But everything all of a sudden is so frickin' funny that we all three start to laugh like little kids, just laughing our asses off. It feels great.